And we have folks on the phone.
We do.
All right. Thank you very much for those of you who have joined us. My name is Stan Heffner. I'm the State Superintendent of Public Instruction, and I just want to thank everyone for being here this morning. This is a very good day for Ohio academics, and I'm very happy today to report that in the report card that will be released, or has been released, we show that Ohio students continue to make steady improvement in their academic performance, as evidenced on the report cards that you now have available to you. We're very happy with the gains that have been made around Ohio, but I want to address the report card results this year in three parts. One would be, I just want to talk about the accomplishments. The second one, I want to just address this concept of the graduation rate and the changes that we've been reading about in the media. And then the third part, to really talk about what the future of academics means for Ohio and why the state needs to move away from its current minimum competency system to one of college and career readiness. So starting with that, first I want to give you some highlights about this year's academic performance across the state. So as you know, and you all have probably the report card, there are 26 indicators. If you look at the on the inside of page 2 on the left-hand side, so there's 26 indicators. In Ohio this year, we made improvements in past performance on 21 of those 26 indicators. We met the goals, our adequate yearly progress targets, we met the goals on 17 of those 26 indicators. And by far, if you look at the results, our greatest strengths and our gains were made in 3rd grade math, 8th grade math, and 10th grade writing. I'm particularly excited about the mathematics skills because the students' reasoning abilities and problem-solving skills are critical for their success, not only as students in academics, but also as they enter the workforce and become productive citizens. So, in addition to that, on page 2 in the upper right-hand side, if you look at the performance index, this is probably one of our finest accomplishments because our index has jumped to 1.7 points now to 95. We know that districts that have an index of 100 have students at proficient. So the fact that we have made this jump to 95, which is our biggest gain since 2004-2005, is a real plus for our students and for the state. In addition to that, we have about 71% of our schools and 89.3% of our districts who actually improved their performance index schools statewide, so we think that's terrific. We have a value-added component to our report card, and I'm pleased to tell you this morning that 79.5% of our districts and 81.4% of our schools met or exceeded the value-added expectations for gains. That is outstanding. And then if you look on page 1 in the bottom right-hand side, when you look at the designations of the districts and the schools, I think it's incredible here that the number of our districts rank with excellent with distinction. So these are school districts that not only met all the targets, but who exceeded value-added expectations. I mean, the number of those rose by 56 to a total of 352 districts. The number of schools ranked excellent with distinction or at excellent increased by 186 to a total of 1,769. So we're seeing that there are some solid evidence of improvement, that we know that people are working very hard, and there's good cause to celebrate the academic accomplishments of the state. But I want to point out one caution and then something to think about for the future. Our caution is, if you look again on page 2, if you look at the state indicators, take a look at 5th grade. None of the indicators were met. 5th grade continues to be a very difficult time for students. It is a time when the academic expectations they have rises rather sharply. This is the gatekeeper before they go to middle school, generally speaking. So we see that they have historically tended to struggle in 5th grade. And so we still have work to do to get our students to making the indicators at 5th grade. The other thing that I would call your attention to is if you go to page 6, the chart at the top indicates how our students do by student subgroup. And If you note, particularly just as an example, our African American students compared to our Caucasian students, we have far fewer Caucasian students that are scoring in limited and basic, disproportionate to the numbers that you see among the African American community. And as you go up the scale, you'll see that we have far fewer African American students scoring at accelerated or advanced compared to their Caucasian counterparts. So we know that these and other subpopulations continue to have gaps that must be closed, and that means that we cannot allow labels or any other considerations to get in the way of high expectations for performance for all students and high levels of support to make sure that those students are successful in our classes. We think that's highly critical. Now, let me turn now quickly to the graduation rate, and I would turn your attention in the report card to the bottom of page 3. And here you can see historically under the current graduation rate that we have had, we've had a period of improvement in Ohio. There was the last couple of years where we saw some declines in the graduation rate with a rebound coming back in this particular school year's calculations. We also can tell you, though, that the U.S. Department of Education has required all states to agree to use a new formula. This was a formula that the consensus was reached among the National Governors Association, I believe in 2005. It allows us to make apples-to-apples comparisons on graduation rates across all of the states so that we can get better ideas about who's having good success in making sure that all students who enter school are exit with a diploma that has meaning. And are there some things that we can learn from one another as a result of all of that? So this year, we marked the first year that the new rate is being produced for the report card purposes. We have been working with districts since 2006 on making sure that they are getting ready for this transition from the current formula to the new one. So this year, the new formula is shown for illustrative purposes only. It does not count on the report card. But what it does do is it does give a preview of what this new, more precise calculation will mean for districts and how we report the students who are graduating students on a 4-year cohort basis. So this new formula assumes the percentage of those students who enter as freshmen and within 4 years graduate with a meaningful diploma. So using this new graduation rate, Ohio's total or average for graduation is 78%. This is compared to 84.3% on the current formula, which uses a number of estimates and other kind of things I won't get into. The new formula is going to be much more precise, and again, it will be effective in all of the states. I think you've seen the national reports that now that we have the ability to track students more precisely, we've abandoned some other statistical methods that tended to overinflate, frankly, the graduation rate. So we have this slight drop. And yet I find it interesting, if you look at the Akron Public Schools, their graduation rate actually went up when you look at using the new rate. And if you look at the Columbus City Schools, their rate declined roughly in proportion to what the state average does. So it is really critical that districts continue to follow the guidance that we've been providing since 2006 in paying attention to the data, how they collect it, how they code students, and how they pay attention to the movement of students so that they have a very accurate handle on the progress that students are making, and if they're going to have movement in the district, that we are able to account for all of our children in Ohio.